Okay, we're back. I didn't notice that the first part is already done, and well, actually, it's not done. It was cut. So let's just continue this one so that we could finish this part two of this GUI. Still, we are in GUI using the Tkinter. Okay, because our goal is to create the product price or price product calculator. Okay, so let's get started again. So we are here ready on the total label, and what we're gonna do is we will just add that config here. Oops, sorry. Config. Okay, and then you have to put parentheses in after the config, and inside of it, we just need to put text equals and the f string total. So it means that it would just pop up. It will just appear the word total because it's a text form. But what we will do is we will concatenate here the price itself. Okay, so therefore we will just use this. I already taught you this on the other video that we have, right? And so we will put here total, that's the variable total, and then dot to f, meaning two decimal places because it's a float, right? So then after that, what we will do is we will add to table those what we input. Okay, what I mean is this. So if we have this so-called input values in the product, the price, and the quantity, then all those items and all those we input will appear on our table at the bottom, and then there's total price already automatically computed if we click the total button. But first, let's add the table. Okay, to add the table, so since we are here, so just like I mentioned to you earlier in the first video, that you have to have this guidelines here in order for you to finish the entire program, and you will not be lost if you have this kind of technique. All right, so next is tree, the tree as in tree, then insert, then here what we will have is let's just try this single quote and then another single quote, and let me just explain to you about this later. Okay, let me just finish this product entry, that get, because we're gonna use the get method of Python, wherein whatever we input on the product entry or the text box there, we will get that value. All right, then f, again the price, which is we have to concatenate the total, the price, concatenate the price, and still two decimal places. And then after that, next is, so where are we? Here. Okay, and then quantity. So we have here quantity, and we also have this string, which is the price, the quantity, the total. Total after the quantity, total to f. All right, now let me just explain to you. In our tree, which is our table, what we can see here is the values of the product entry, the price, the quantity, and the total. So four columns, and these are the items or the data that we will be displaying on that 4 columns. Okay, so all you have to do is just use a 3.insert and then a couple of this words. This one is a space, you have to put a space and then end. Okay, and then the values. All right, okay, then after that, let's go and update the final total. So it means that we will now start putting the computation or the formula for the total, because as you can see here, we don't have yet the formula for total. So this is where we will put that on update the final. Okay, or this is the final total. Okay, so final total plus equals, so total. So you remember what's the meaning of this plus equals, right? I discussed this already in the previous probably previous topics about if else looping, something like that. So I discussed about the message wherein you add plus equals. So pretty much the same with this one. So final total is actually the addition of whatever total previously, and you just have to add the current. So it's more on continuous as long as there is total, which is being computed here in total equals price times quantity. Okay, oops. Okay, all right. So next here is the final total label dot config. Yep, and text equals, so f string again, and we put final total as the label, and then we start putting P for peso sign and concatenated with the final total. Okay, final total, which is two decimal places as well. So this is how you write 2 decimal places. Okay, so now as you can see here, we already mentioned final total, but we haven't declared that yet. So what we're gonna do is we will declare it global final total. So the reason why we have this global final total on top is that it is because it's the final total of all the total that we have here. So it's not actually part only of this function, which is the calculate total. It's not only about the, under this total for price times quantity, but it's the total of all total. So that's why it's called final total. I hope that makes sense to you. Another thing for this global, that we declare it global because we want to access that outside of this function calculate total. Okay, so that means it's global, can be accessed anywhere, not only inside the calculate total function. Okay, so let's just continue this program so that we could see how it works at the end. Okay, so let me just continue this one. So here we need to continue the clear entries. So what does clear entries do or does? Clear entries, so every time the button for the total price, or the total price will be clicked, automatically the input, the entry for the product, for the price entry, as well as per quantity will be deleted. Okay, so that's the purpose of the clear entries. So let's just put product here, product entry dot delete. So we are telling Python to delete it once immediately that it has no other new input. Okay, so let's make it capital. So that's how it is. Next, price entry. Oops. Entry. Okay. That delete. And then set it into 0. And next, what's the other one? The total, or the quantity, sorry. The quantity entry. Delete. And make it 0 as well. And N. Okay. All right. So that's and the next one here is probably the total button. Yes, let's but before that, let's now add the exemption or the except. Okay, be small except. In Python, we have this so-called except or exemption, because if there will be some probably input that are not supposed to be the right value, like for example for product entry, for the product entry it should be string, but someone just input numbers or integers or float. Of course, that's not okay, that's not good. And for integers such as the quantity, and then accidentally you input string, so that's not good as well. And as well as if it is float, you also input string, so again, that's not acceptable. So therefore, what will be shown when that case happen is there will be a total label, okay, that will pop up, and we will just configure that into a text equals invalid entry, okay, or input. All right, so here it is. So we have here, by the way, just make sure, guys, I wanna reiterate this. There's something wrong with the indentation here. Python is very critical when it comes to the indentation, so you really have to make sure that everything here is indented as long as they are in under this program, this part or this block of codes. Okay, so this one as well should be indented, at least aligned to this, and this except should be aligned to try. And since total label, this one is under the value error, except value error, so therefore you put value error there. Okay, so no worries yet as of the moment. If you see, you don't have to worry if you see that there's line here, there's some kind of a warning, but it's just like that. We will finish it until we mention everything already, especially when it comes to final total and the total label. Then all of this will be gone. I mean, it will be somehow no longer with lines like that. Okay, so let's go for the total button. Total button is a button wherein we have to click, and once we click it, it will be somehow automatically compute the entire quantity times price, or price times quantity, and those details that we input will go directly to our data, to our table. But before that, let me just check if it could be run without error. So here we already have this Python GUI. Let's make it GUI 3.py. Okay, and let's see. So as of the moment, this is what we have. Okay, so still this is what we have. So we will just continue so that we could finish the entire frame with the table here as well as with the bottom. Okay, so let's just close that and clear this one first and then close it. Okay, let's just continue the total button. So let's put total button equals, so we will put button here, and of course window, because we use window here, okay, and here as well. So we will just call that, we will just place that inside the window, and there will be a text, okay, and that text says that calculate total, okay, and then we put command and calculate. So we call the calculate total function. Okay, did we have that already here? Yes, this one, the calculate total is this, so we will just call that here in that case. Okay, calculate total, and then, oops, sorry, I missed a spelling there. So just make sure, guys, that your spelling is all correct. Okay, calculate total. All right, and what else? So we have here the font. We set the font. Again, the font, it could be Arial, it could be Times New Roman. It's up to you. So just think of any preferred font for you, then it's okay. There's no problem with that. You can change that, in fact. So yeah, so Arial, and then okay, 12. So 12 is the font size. All right, then let's continue. So we have here total button pack. So if we now declare that our variable total button here, we have this. Sorry, I think I remove this window here. Okay, so it works now. So every time you declare something, like you wanna have this button, it will not display immediately unless you put pack. Okay, so this is special tool inside the Tkinter that it shows whatever you would like to display, as long as you already put that specific part, like a button or a text box or a table, but you have to put the pack. Okay, all right, and of course here's the pad Y again, wherein it computes where is exactly you can find this this button on the coordinate system. So we have 10, 20. So in this case, I'm gonna make it 10. All right, so let's see if this works, and let's see if it can be visible in our window frame. Okay, so Control J again, then let's run it. Python GUI3.py, and here it is now. So you can see calculate total is here. So let me just remove this colon here. It shouldn't be here. So let me just close that one and remove this. I don't like putting colon there. So let me just clear it and then close. Okay, so now here the total label, we're gonna put total label now this time. So to complete this, total label equals, so label, so as you can see here, if it is button, so you put button, but if you add label, you put label. Okay, so label, and inside of it, window, comma, text equals total, and this is a total price, or yeah, this is what you can see here in the total price of the product, because we have this so-called the multiplication or the product of the quantity times the price. So we already computed that, I believe, because we have here price times quantity. So we want to make sure that it is displayed here on our window. So we add that total, and then at the very beginning it starts with 0, and it will be changed if ever that we already computed, or we input product times the product, and then the price, and then the quantity. If there's new input, automatically this will be changed, but for now it is 0. Okay, so font, we put font as well, which is, we will just use the conventional one, which is Arial, and then 12. Let's make it a little bit bigger, but it's 14. Okay, and then same process as well. We put the back, as I mentioned earlier, that it is very important in order for us to display it on our window. So just put 10 as well. Okay, let's see. Control J, and then let's arrow up. Okay, and here it is. As you can see, there's total, and as of the moment, it is 0 because we haven't input new details or data here yet. Okay, all right, let's just continue to make it faster. I mean, to finish it in a faster way. So let me close that. So now here, table this time. So what we can do is, you remember that we used table earlier, which is 3. So we will use that in order for us to really show the table, because as of the moment, as you can see in our the window that we, every time we run it, there's no table yet, right? And if ever that we will put table, we want to make sure what is the specific characteristic of that table, and here it is. That's what we will do. We will call it 3 equals TTK. All right, TTK, that's the code for the Tkinter to come up with the table. So TTK dot 3 view, and then window again, window, comma, columns. So how many columns, and what are the things that you can see on the columns or inside the columns? So we have here product, and what else? We have here price. Then after price, the quantity. So we just type in here quantity, and then after quantity, of course, the total. As you remember, I mentioned earlier that we have 4 columns here. One is for the product, price column, and then quantity, and then the total. Okay, and then right after that, since we have already the price, the product, price, quantity, total, we need to tell Python that it should be shown on the heading side, okay, or headings part. So on top, that's the meaning of the headings. This product, price, quantity, and total should be displayed, right? And then let's continue. 3 dot heading. Okay, so for the product, okay, that's what you should see. Sorry. Okay, and there must be a text. Okay, text equals product. So meaning we haven't seen yet, we're not seeing yet what is on that specific column, but if we put this 3 dot heading under product, there must be a text which main product, then that's the time that it will be displayed. Okay, so same thing as well. Tree that heading. So actually you can just copy and paste this, but if you don't want, it's still okay, no problem with that. So in my end, so since I'm teaching you step by step, so I'm gonna just make it like this. So I believe not everyone can easily grasp the idea. Okay, and heading. Next is quantity. Okay. And text equals quantity as well. Okay. And read that heading as well. And this time it's total. Okay. Total. There. And text equals total. All right. Then last part, as I mentioned, that we have to put or use pack in order for us to display it on the window. Okay, so the padding on the y-axis is 20, and then now this time we're gonna use pad x. All right, that's for the vertical. Horizontal for the horizontal for the pad y, right? And no, let me just repeat that. For the pad y, that's for the it's actually y-axis is for the vertical, and x-axis is for the horizontal in your coordinate system. So for the pad y, it's on 20, and pad x as well is on 20, so it means that it's on the center, something like that. But hopefully it's really on the center, but we will see. Okay, I'm just want to make it 20 as of the moment. Okay, so we can just adjust anytime we want once we feel that it's not really comfortable or based on our preferences. So next, after that, we fill both. Okay, you just use both and expand, make it true for now. Okay, so it means that it could be expanded for the entire window. Okay, so let's see now if how does it look like as of the moment after we have this. So let's just Control J again, and then let's type in Python and GUI 3.py, and let's run it. There's something wrong on our code here, as it says here. The name TTK is not defined. What is that? So what is the problem here? We have here TTK here, but it is not defined. So how can we solve this problem? It seems here that there's TTK here. It should be there. You are. I believe that the problem is we haven't import yet the TTK, so we need to import that. So from same as well, Tkinter, import TTK. Again, that's for table. All right. So once you import that, there will be no. We expect that there will be no more error here. So again, just run Python. I keep on missing the spelling of Python. Python, and then GUI 3.py. Oops, another error. Now what does it mean if we have a lot of error here? It turns out, actually, I think the problem is on this part, which is columns. So the columns here was misspelled. Okay, so let me just check that again here. So let's just clear this out first, and let me just check here. Where's my columns? There you are. Okay. So I hope this one is good. Okay, then let's try Python again. Let's run the Python. Python GUI3.py. Okay, there's no error, and it shows here that we have now the table. Okay, cool, good. So what we can do is we can start going to the next step, which is putting the final total here and then the change. Okay, all right, let's just close this one. So this is final total. Okay, let's just type in final total. Sometimes I really misspelled a lot of words in or codes, so probably that's the weaknesses of the programmers. Okay, so final total, and then label equals, of course that's label, so label, and window text equals f strings, which is final total. So that's what we will see if we use this the label method, which is on the window. There will be a text final total and p, and let's concatenate the final total here. So final total, and of course that 2f stands for 2 decimal places. All right, and of course we were gonna set the font as well, which is pretty much the same with what we had earlier, Arial. Okay, and 14 as the size. Okay, so we have that here, and then what we need to do after that is, just like I mentioned, if you have already this, you declare a certain part of the window, but it will not display yet until you put pack. Okay, so final total label that packed, and let's set the pad y equals still 10, probably 10. Okay, so let's see. Now let me just clear this one first. Again, this just to practice. Control J, and then there you are. And then let's try to type in Python GUI3.py. So as we can see, we have it here, final total on this part. Okay, so we're gonna continue to finish everything, and then let's see later if this works. But anyway, we can actually check, because we have the program already. I mean, we have the code already for computation. Let's see if something will work here. So let's say I want to input product name as fish and enter price, let's say 15.23 because it's float, and enter quantity, let's say 4. And let's see, now we have here fish, and we have the price here, we have the quantity, and we have the total here. So if we add another one, let's say can you give me noodles? Okay, I don't eat noodles, but let's just include that here. So 56.36, and then 5, and then compute that total. The total calculation will still be like this, as you can see. All right, and there's final. As you can see, the total 342.72 is the total for 60.92 and 281.80. Okay, so it seems like everything is working well. So let's clear this one first, and let's close this, and probably we can finish the payment section. The payment section is where I put another value for payment, and then there will be change. Okay, what was left right after we deduct the total amount or final total versus the minus or the payment that I paid minus the total payment, and that will be my change. So let's compute that here. To have that, of course, but before that, of course, we have to put that, display that first. So we have this payment frame. I call it payment frame. Again, since this is a variable, so you can just name it the way you want it. So it's just up to you. Okay. Again, we use window for that frame, and payment frame. Okay, that back to display it, and that's in the feed. The pad y equals 10. So let's see where is it in our frame. So let me just use this arrow. Okay, can you see it now? So as of the moment, we cannot see it. Okay, so let's have more to add more code in order for us to see what the specific payment frame here. Okay, so let's just close this and let's add more code. So we have the label, which is paid label. Okay, equals, of course, that's label. And now payment frame. Okay, text equals amount paid. And then let's put comma here. Let's set the font to same as Arial. And then size as 12. Okay, and then paid label that tag. Okay, which is on the side equivalent to left. So it's on the left side. Okay, then paid entry, that is for the box wherein we can put the amount that we paid. Okay, paid entry, then it's entry, so therefore it's a text box or input box. Payment frame, inside of it is a payment frame, then font equals same as well, Arial, and then size is 12, so white training 12, and then I'm gonna put the width of that. I just want to make it like a little bit longer as well, because if I'm gonna make it 10, let's say I want to make it 10, and let's see how does it look like. So it is something like this. It's not yet shown because we haven't put the pack yet. So let me just put the pack yet here. So I'm sorry, let me just use the pack. So paid entry, that pack, and then side equals left, and the pad x, which is the again the x-axis, is 5. So let's see how does it look like here this time. So here it is. As you can see, very small. And seems like I don't want that way. I want it to be like a bit longer. So what we will do is we will just close that first, and probably let's make it 40. Okay, then let's try to run again. And then what we have here is this. Paid amount is this, which is a little bit longer. Okay, so it will be looks more better than much more better than very small text box, right? Okay, so let me just clear this, and then let's go for the function. So the function is, again, if you check the let me just run that again. If you check this final total here, and we put the amount paid, let's say, let's have another example here, fruits, and 45.2, and then 4, and then let's calculate that. So here, and then we're gonna put 1,000 here because that's the amount that we paid. There is no button yet, and there is no function that will calculate the deduction from, or the subtraction from this amount minus the total or the final total, which is this amount. So therefore, what we need to do is to come up with another function, which is calculate change. Okay, so let's create or define calculate change, and that's how you come up with the function. And then try. Okay, and then after that, let me just change. Okay, try, and then paid. Let's just call this variable as paid, which is a float. And then paid entry, so how much we enter or input on that that text box, we have to get that. So almost pretty much the same with what we had earlier in for the price, for the product name, for the enter price and enter quantity. This is almost the same, or in fact very much the same. The difference is that this is for the paid and entry. Okay, then we have this computation formula for change, which is equivalent to paid. This is the paid amount minus the final total. Okay, so that's our formula for that. And change that label, there will be label. Okay, that config, and there is a text there that shows text equals, so this f string change, and how much is that, and concatenate it, the change variable, and 2 decimal places. Okay, because that's a float. All right, and then if we have a try, we also have this except, because just like I said, if ever that there are some input values that are not really we cannot really consider that as correct value for that specific text box. So let's say that's float, but the value is a string, so that's invalid. So we put change label dot config, and then text will be pop out or will somehow appear, and then it would say invalid input, something like that. Okay, all right, so we have this already. Okay, so well, let me just explain this to you very brief, that if we have this function calculate change, so again, function has different name, it depends on you, but I have this calculate change. Now what I want to put is try, which is actually a part of the Python program, that if you try to have a function, you start with try and then accept. Okay, try and accept. Why try? Try is like, try doing this. So very straightforward in English. Try means try doing this. Okay, so doing the paid, which is from the paid entry, we get the value. That's why it's float paid in entry here. And then change is the formula for paid minus final total. and we have the label that would show how much is the change for with 2 decimal places here. And then for except value error, just like I mentioned earlier, if there are input that is not actually valid, if it is since it is a float but the input was string, so therefore there will be a message that would say invalid input. Okay, all right. So the next thing that we will do is we will start now the payment button. Okay, so it's payment button right after we input the value for the amount paid. So the payment button should be on the other left side of that text box or in entry box. So we have here payment that underscore button. So we declare this variable, and then that's a button. So therefore we put button here. Then payment frame. That's inside the payment frame, not on the window, because window is on top and payment frame is at the bottom. So text equals compute change. Compute change only. All right. So compute change, and then command. So what's the command, or what's the thing that we would need to execute? Of course, that's calculate change, and calculate change is here. Okay, so it means that it will get what is being input on the paid entry, and then after that it will subtract. The program will subtract that amount paid minus the final total, and it will be displayed. So that's the command that should be executed here. And then of course we set the font equals, and same as well, Arial. By the way, single quote and double quote are not really matters a lot. If you use single or double, it's okay. But for conventional, let's make it double quote here, and then 12 for the size. Okay, all right. And just like the normal thing to do, if we want to show that, we have to put the tag. So payment button equals dot tag, and side equals left, and pad x equals, let's make it 5 for now. So let's see if we run that. Oops, there is an error here. So let's check what's the error here. So it says here payment button equals button payment frame, text equals compute change, command calculate change, and what is this don't? Okay, so this is very, very simple mistake, but it makes the full program not run at all. So this is not don't. It shouldn't be like don't. It should be font. Okay, let's just clear this one. Okay, so let's change it and make it font. Right, save it, and then Control J, and then let's run. Okay, there you are. It's there. Okay, so, and of course there will be a display here of how much is the change. So let's close that and let's continue this last part of the program. Okay, so which is change label. So change underscore label, of course that's a label, so therefore we put label here, and then that's in the payment frame. Okay, not on the window but payment frame. Text equals what would be the text that you could see on the display. That will be, for now, if there's no any value or any computation or input, so it's still remain as 0, but it will be changed later once there is an entry already. Okay, so here you go, 12, and then change label that pack side equals left, and there is pad x equals 5. So yeah, pretty much that's it, all the programs that we wrote here. Whew. Okay, let's try to check. Let's run this one, and here it is. Okay, so let's put some values here. So again, I can't think of any other item here. Fish, enter values, let's say 85.3, and then this one is 3, and let's here. So once we click calculate total, the items and the price and the quantity and the total values here. So it's right? 85.3 times 2 is 170.60. Yeah, that's correct. So another one is vegetables. We go for healthy products. Okay, 6, and this one is, let's say, 5. So, and we one more, let's say eggs, then price is, let's say, 259. It's okay if it is just whole number. Automatically the Python program, since it was declared as float, it will be converted into float. So and 8, so it's here. So total of all this total prices here, the final total is 2,635.60, and let's say our money is 3,000, and then we want to compute how much is the change. So there you are. Once you click that, then there is the 364.40 as our change. All right, so that's it for now. It's really a long program. However, it's very exciting that you create on your own this GUI thing in Python, made possible by the library of Tkinter. So I am hoping that you create your own GUI program as well, made from Python. Practice this, because most of the time we will be dealing with creating this GUI, all right, for our software. Okay, thank you so much, and good luck.